discussions on the brewing content battle now. Who is transforming content and consumer experience for the better? As we explored earlier, we're living in a multimedia world, and we are all consumers, watching movies in various formats, and the newer generations watching them in even newer formats. So what is that going to do to content, the things that we see there? What is going to be the biggest area of growth in content? What is going to become more popular? What's going to become less popular? And who is driving the push to deliver, create, and promote new content for the new media? More importantly, how will this affect the traditional media business? And at the end of it all, will there be a different kind of interaction between people and media products? Will your experience of seeing something on a massive screen be the same as watching it on your mobile phone or on your tablet or smartphone? Will these change things in some ways? And above all, when you have various people creating content, the ultimate question comes down to who will win and who will lose in this new media age. Now, to discuss this, we have some very interesting people. We, of course, have Mr.Anurag Batra, who was with us on the panel earlier, the Chairman and CEO of E4M. Please join us on stage, sir. Then there's Mr.Prakash Sharma, who's a filmmaker and international film distributor. Mr. Prakash Sharma, do join us on stage. He's been 22 years in the film business, doing a special interest in the global film industry in all areas from film financing to production, buying, selling, marketing, distribution, film festival consultation, and as an importer and exporter of films, he's been part of all these festivals and has also been a major worldwide sales agent. Then we have Mr.Sudir Mishra. Is he with us? I can't see Sudir. Sorry? I don't see Sudhir, so we'll skip him for the moment. And then we have Ms.Tabassum Modi, who's the Executive Director of Edu Media India. Please welcome her. She has lots of experience in the business of events and entertainment and has set up and run 2 successful businesses. And as Executive Director of Edu Media, she is in charge of strategic planning and business development, etc. And she won 2 National Film Awards and 25 other film awards for producing film for Edu Media's India Project School Cinema, and has produced over 50 short original films. And then we have Mr.Abhigyan Jha. Is Mr. Jha here? Please join us on stage, Mr. Jha. He is the founder and CEO of the game-changing 360-degree media company Undercover Productions, who created history by launching the world's first full-format TV show exclusively for the Internet. And his show was called Jai Hind, and became the world's first Internet show to be broadcast on, to be syndicated on broadcast TV. And it won the Best Talk Chat Show and Best TV Anchor Awards at this year's Indian Television Academy Awards, beating shows from 500 broadcast TV channels. He rose to fame. Welcome, Sudhir. Welcome. Sudhir Mishra. He rose to fame in India as the executive producer, creative director, and script editor of this show that everyone knows, Movers and Shakers, and his second film, Sacred Evil, which is also his directorial debut venture, won the Golden Palm at the Mexico International Film Festival in 2010. He's also written 4 books, and on broadcast TV, Kabir, which was created by his company for ZTV, entered the top 10 shows this week and is hugely popular on YouTube. So a truly multimedia man. And Sudir Mishra, who just joined us, is known to everybody, but is very famous for Hazaram Khwahish Aisi, Dharavi, Chameli, and most recently Inkar. He's won many prestigious film awards, a national award for the best feature film in Hindi for Dharavi, as well as another national award for best film on social issues, Main Zinda Hoon. He's also the chairman of the Talent Tube Creative Advisory Board and will be directing films for the company. And most recently, he was bestowed the Order of Arts and Letters by the French government. So please welcome our distinguished panel here today as we enter this very interesting discussion. So let me join the gang on the table. Now we know that the distinctions or other technological superiorities between the quality you see on film and television on one side and digital on the other is narrowing by the day, and in some ways digital has found its own areas of strength. My first question, let me start with you, Sudir. Do you see this as a kind of emerging democracy in filmmaking?
Yeah, and with all the inevitable problems of democracy, like there will be a lot of crap made as well, you know me.
Right.
But of course there is a democratization and you know, I mean, digital doesn't imply carelessness, doesn't imply that you know, it just doesn't imply that you just get up and do anything. I mean,
earlier yeah. what was exclusively...
Yeah, so that exclusivity, and I've often said this, that, you know, I mean, the exclusivity goes and, you know, anybody from any place now, a boy in Jamshedpur, a girl in Jamshedpur, Jabalpur, can get up, doesn't have to come to Bombay.
Right.
Not only the technology to make films is available, but a kind of learning is also available, which has been democratized.
Yes.
And therefore, you know, the potential, I think, is unleashed a lot more. You know, so that it's not just a certain personality. Unfortunately, also there was a certain personality type who could make a film. You had to be able to, I mean, Bertolucci said, who is a film director, that who can get money, someone to put money on his dream, you know.
Right.
I mean, suppose you don't have those other abilities, you know.
Yes.
You know, then can you, you know, and now you can, I think. It's pretty much interesting in that sense.
So, from your point of view, Abhigyan, do you see there's a kind of shift of power to the independents in the sense of being able to produce works that they couldn't before, and hopefully by the sheer number of such works create a marketplace where it's not dominated by the traditional studios and filmmakers?
Yeah, that's not, it doesn't have like a very simple, easy answer to that. I agree with him on one count that, you know, just because everybody can make a film or a TV show or videos or whatever, maybe not everybody should. But they're going to do that. And I think just because a million people make videos, it doesn't become a marketplace. And that's an ongoing discussion we have as YouTube partners. We're constantly trying to tell Google that, you know, search is one kind of business, content is a different business. You guys don't make content, you don't understand content at all. Right?
Is that true? Is that true? I mean, don't they have a channel of their own? Didn't Justin Bieber become an international sensation?
So Google didn't
became a mainstream star?
So Google didn't do that. Justin Bieber was not invested in by Google, or Google didn't find him. Justin Bieber was a part of the music industry. So the music industry has been YouTube's biggest investor so far, in the sense that it has invested it with talent. So there is, like, you'll find Koreans dominating the scene on YouTube, and Americans dominating the scene on YouTube, and UK people dominate, because they have that system, the music system. So there was a friend of mine from UK, okay, who was on Twitter every day struggling to get a break, and one day somebody discovered him on YouTube, and he went on to win an MTV thing in UK. Now a lot of people in India also win that MTV thing. Nothing happens to them. This guy, 5 days after winning that MTV thing, was working with producers of Rihanna, because the music industry there is so properly organized. Same thing in Korea. Same thing in Korea. In Korea, so we had this talent thing that I listened to in the last panel that we had of unearthing talent. So in Korea, the CEO of 3 companies have this task that every month, each of them has to produce one pop star. If they don't, they're fired. Do we have that in India? We don't have.
Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that? In Korea, they have?
There are 3 big companies, entertainment companies.
Right.
The CEOs of each of them are interested with finding, it's like calendar girls, 12 pop stars, 12 months. You got to find. So these pop stars have to have their individual hairstyles. They're going to market that. Clothes lines, market that. They have to produce one. We have had 20 years since liberalization. We don't have a single pop star. How difficult is it to create a pop star in a country which is so talented in music, but we don't have it because nobody has done that. Nobody has done the field work. So in Korea, every village now has a talent center from 3 companies. Whole day they're on auditions, and the whole idea is to find somebody who can go and become a star. Do we do that thing in India? Do we market people that we find? So another example is Idol, okay? American Idol. Since American Idol has started in America, 11 years, 365 weeks in these 11 years has been the number 1 song has been an American Idol participant.
Wow.
In India, we have almost had Indian Idol for the same time. There's been no top 10 songs by any Indian Idol guys. Because once they win, we don't do anything with them. We don't market them. We don't produce albums for them. We don't make them like movie stars. There's only one thing marketed in India, which is Bollywood. There's nobody else receiving any marketing dollars. You're not marketing anything other than Bollywood. Right. We are told these 2 great myths, that Indians love Bollywood and Indians love cricket. And both of these are consumed by less than 60 million people.
Right. I'd like to take Anurag's take on that, because since you have the Exchange of Media portal and you're extremely aware of various trends happening, why do you think this is the case, that whereas stars are produced, say, in South Korea, but nobody has the mandate to do that here, or the motivation to do that? Why is that not happening here?
I think very simple and straight answer to that is that we are advertising very economy. We are always going for a market. We are not wanting to do specialist, small, very valuable audiences. And it's a free, nobody pays for content. I would like to say even the money we pay for watching the movie is very good. That's the highest. I think we pay more for eating popcorn than we pay for watching a movie. Right? Then popcorn is what we spend money. So there is a free country. In my view, the biggest thing is most media companies are chasing larger audiences, and hence they tend to do content which are for larger audiences, safe bets. And I just want to say, that in my view is a free country. I was speaking in a conference in Europe 2 weeks back, and my topic was made in the biggest digital conference in Europe. My topic was made in Europe, consumed in India. Does it work? And I almost put up a slide. I think I stay alive after saying that Sonia Gandhi made in Europe, consumed in India, but I did. But the point is, I just put a slide showing the parents. I said nothing would work in India. Because it's a free country. I mean, the British is free. It's literally free. Nothing works. Nobody pays for content. I think that is the dichotomy. And I just want to say that when you discussing content in the digital field, Winston Churchill said something which is relevant. He said the empires of the future are the empires of the mind. I think today, for the first time, in the content creation that is happening, and you talk about YouTube. When YouTube started, YouTube used to make 2 minutes of videos. It lasted 45 minutes of video uploaded every second. Today, 60 minutes of video is being uploaded on YouTube every second. 60 minutes of video being uploaded. So really, in my view, what we are discussing, there are 3 things that will shape that. will determine what they produce. So Sudir may produce a movie here, will test market and see what kind of people can make changes to the movie. And what is working, what is not. So data and how consumers interact with it will change the way you produce content at the production stage, not at the marketing stage. Second is the ability of entrepreneurs like Abhigyan to raise capital, what Sudir was saying. Today, if there are people who like Abhigyan and the kind of content he produced in the last 10 years, they will give him money like Batra got money for this campaign. He raised $1 billion from nobody. So he doesn't need a big producer, he doesn't need anyone, he just needs people to follow him. So he will do that. Third, fundamentally, and I think that's the most important because that's the philosophy of it, not really. I think I watch a lot of Indian cinema. I would call it Bollywood. I watch a lot of cricket. But I think generally, other forms of entertainment are under-leveraged as content, under-leveraged as in marketing, and nobody is really taking, very few people are taking up. I think if there are people who are really interested in making big fortune, forget any, lofty thing, you will have to start taking a dance form, a theatre form in terms of small movie shows. The mobility revolution will make sure that they don't need a large stage, but they will take a space. So in my view, when you talk about digital, these are the things that come to my mind. I won't go to my co-creation and curation, all that has been said. It's philosophy that's what it is.
Okay. Before I come to you, Tabassum, I just want to ask Prakash where he sees this changing environment of changing content going in terms of it being viewed across the world in different formats. You've been part of film distribution, you've been part of film deals, part of film festivals. There's the whole online world that is also exploding. Where do you see all this going and what emphasis shift do you see?
not exactly the negative translation and the dialogue which they mentioned there, because again goes little bit against Pakistan, some issue dialogue. But then I presented them in the way they would like. Because they like jokes, they like certain dialogue. So that content was authenticity. And in this way, the content was...
Right. I think the point you're making is an important one. But I wanted to ask you, Tabassum, all these changing content discussions that are going on, perhaps the most exciting is happening in the educational area. And I'd really like you to tell us something about that, because that has the biggest long-range implications.
Yeah, so, check, yeah.
Microphone.
So we keep getting very excited about this whole digital content and YouTube and mobile and all of that. It might be exciting for us because that's not what we grew up on. But when you look at kids, when you look at the next generation who we call the digital natives, this is what they have grown up on. So it's not supremely exciting for them to be watching content on YouTube because that is normal for them. So what is exciting for them is something which is actually not normal. Like for us, digital is very exciting because that's not what we grew up on. But for them, to go back to basics sometimes is very exciting. So what we do is we produce short films for children, which is consumed in the traditional form. It's not consumed online. We actually distribute it through schools. And it becomes...
But it's shown in theaters.
No, it's shown in their audiovisual room. Mm-hmm. It's shown as a part of the curriculum of the school. It becomes like a subject for them to watch films and appreciate films and learn from films. So that for them is unusual and is actually taking them back to basics. And then that's when the maximum amount of learning or internalization of content really happens. Because whatever you ask them, they're on YouTube, they're Googling it, there's whatever. So everything is digital for them. Everything is on the screen. So when you take them away from the screen, they get excited.
But why would you choose to use a traditional method of distribution when they can also see it on the internet?
That's exactly what I said.
Also see it on smartphones.
They can.
Yeah.
They can, and they are. And they are exposed to content across the globe and very, very superior quality of content. They are not, thankfully, subject to regressive Indian television soaps.
Right.
They are watching very high quality content, the best of animation that you can think of, the best of live action that you can think of. So they are already exposed to that. So it's not abnormal or unusual for them. It's something that is a part of life.
Right. I think I sort of want to open this up to a broader debate which is that you have the traditional structures that exist with studio system around the world, as well as studio systems / important production houses in Bombay, people that are turning out television programming, television stations, media that's doing news, people that are doing sports, even education. These are sort of the traditional creators of content for the larger audiences. And I'm saying to you that, when these new platforms came up, whether it's a Google, whether it's a YouTube, whether it's a Vimeo, whether it's a Facebook, the traditional market started using them as ancillary marketing areas, taking the same things and recycling them in that area. However, the new social media, or platformers, as I call them, the platformers are not exactly just sitting there as some kind of delivery mechanism for traditional media. They are also coming up with their own product. For instance, Netflix is now talking about investing in a television series that's on there, that you can see the whole series in one go if you want. So see it when you want, as opposed to television where you have to wait. Or from within these social media, there is a vast amount of material that arises that then becomes a YouTube sensation or a Facebook sensation or an online sensation, and that in turn creates its own momentum and its own media. Now, I take your point by saying that millions of people making bad films doesn't create a movement, but out of these millions of films, there are the tallest poppies that rise and become the new sensation. So the question is, who will benefit the most from these changes in the media environment, the traditional gatekeepers, or will it be the platformers as content creators and providers? Microphone.
I think the biggest gainers are the creators of content and the audiences.
Biggest gainers are the audience.
The audience, the creators of content are the biggest gainers, and those and the final audience are gainers because they are now going to be given a choice which is quite amazing. And I do think that this will happen. That suddenly one day this next one kid will get up from somewhere and make this great film. And I do take your point. I mean, I think somebody who wants to make real money here is I think everything is too Bollywood centric. Music here is too Bollywood centric, which even harms Bollywood. Because, I mean, there is nothing that Bollywood can... It's as if all dance in India is Bollywood. It's as if all music is Bollywood. It's as if... So what does Bollywood look up to or take inspiration from? When you end up destroying the real, and then you're suddenly in this vacuum, It's a weird thing that's happening, But so I think what digital media will do will resurrect all this, which the major marketing companies run by illiterate morons who do not know anything about the real things. I'm deliberately trying to say this, that there is a sense of people who think that Indian music, just because they didn't know Indian music, they think it doesn't exist. Just because, I hear so many people from, say, Alma Mater, St. Stephen's College, or people who run these kind of things, who, because they are not in connection with these things, are destroying all that is good. And I think what the digital media will do and the digital platforms will do is resurrect all this and create this alternative to Bollywood or the Indian film industry, from which the Indian film industry will also gain. And therefore there will be this synergy, and therefore the audiences that will gain and their taste will rise in a sense, and they will be available, and therefore the content creators can make something more interesting. So I think overall this thing will really benefit, and I think it will create some environment which is very exciting, and it needs to,
Abhigyan, you had a point?
This Bollywood point. The Bollywood point, we can always discuss in a different forum, because there's too much wrong with that entire way of looking at content. But going back to, you asked a question about who will benefit. I think the crux of this panel, we're supposed to arrive at who's going to benefit from this entire process and what's going to happen. I think he's very right. Content creators obviously are the beneficiaries. As content creators, we can understand that.
Can you speak a little slowly, because the sound is a bit muffled?
Can you not, because I think the time is short, so I'm trying to be quick.
Right.
Pack something in. See, I want to make a point about where this entire thing is going. I think there's a lot of confusion about what is digital and what is content in the digital era. Because it's like, you have to understand there is a continuum. It's not like something has just happened suddenly, and it's not about technology at all. It's different eras of different things that happen. So when you ask this question, will platforms benefit or any particular type of content benefit, we have to understand what is the historical force at work. So the historical force at work is this. You have had the agricultural era, and of course you had entertainment at that time also, of some sort or the other, right? Only thing is that nobody in the other village knew about it. Because at that time, the entire value is in your local, and the only value you have is land.
Or they were traveling performers.
Right. So